Can you see that? There's a yellow thing in the sky and it's really bright. And it's not raining. In fact, the sky's blue. Look at this. Blue. Hey guys, welcome back to Alternative Smallholding. It is Sunday. It is St David's Day actually. So we are at the plot and our neighbour seems to have had a bit of a problem with the wind. So our first port of call today is going to be, well, Beardy Dude's first port of call today. It's going to be fixing that, aren't you, dude? Yeah, well, not fixing it, we're not going to fix it, but it needs to be kind of propped up. And then we're going to get on with some bits and bobs. But my first job is to cook because we are all starving. Now, it is supposed to be really dry. The forecast was sun all day and sun for the next 4 days. And so far we've had several hailstorms and lots of downpours. So it's still wet, it's still slippy, but I am done with sitting inside waiting to get here. So if I fall on my backside 100 times today, I don't care. Stuff is going to get done. Do you need any assistance? Well, that's gonna work. There we go, propped up. Just use some rebars to stick it into the ground. And now it's time to cook. Okay, I'm going to leave you for a bit. I'm going to cook and then I'm going to show you some plans and things that we're going to do to change the plot before the real growing season starts. Because we had a bit of brainwave this weekend and so things are going to change again. Right, we're all toasty in the greenhouse. I've closed the door to keep the heat in and brought some of our own eggs over. You are balancing on some plant pots because I totally forgot to bring the decent tripod. So I just want to show you these. Right, these are bantam eggs. This is a normal chicken egg and this is a bantam egg. How cute are they? And now, see if I can hold all three. And now we have a green egg layer. In fact, we've got 2 green egg layers. On the agenda today is, behind me, I don't know if you can see what Beardy Dude is taking down the bean arch because the storm did a good job on turning that into a piece of modern art. We've had some layout changes that we've been thinking about. I'm sorry, you're so wobbly, aren't you? Think about what we're doing a little bit more to make everything a bit more streamlined, which you know that we've been trying to do anyway. And so everything, well not everything, but some things are moving around on the plot. We're changing some plans because of the limited time that we've got now. I mean, it is the 1st of March today and we haven't done the jobs that we wanted to do in, say, like October, November. So we are very, very, very far behind. And so now it's gone really dark, hasn't it? Hi. So now we are rethinking our plans, making amendments for us to be able to do what we want to do when the good weather kicks in. Gosh, I hope the good weather kicks in. It's not just going to be another summer of rain. So Rue wants eggs, beans and sausages. Beardy Dude and I are having sausage and egg sandwiches. So by sausage I mean, like, you know, veggie sausages. So I'm going to feed everyone. Beardy Dude is moving our green bin because the chicken manure is going to be stored in that and it will be put behind me in a second. So hello. You finished everything? Mm-hmm. Was you very hungry?
Yes.
I gave you extra sausages for your friend. And you ate them too?
She didn't want any.
Okay. Oh, you've got a full belly now, haven't you? Okay then. See you in a bit.
Bye.
So this, guys, is our well-rotted chicken manure, isn't it? How much was in there? Well, that's filled that up quite nicely, hasn't it? That's done quite well in there. I'm really pleased with how much this has rotted down in the year. We did leave it on this bed for quite a while, but I'm hoping that means that tomatoes next year, you can see the reflection of the camera, can't you? I'm sorry. I do hope that means that the tomatoes next year will do really well. There's loads of worms in there too, isn't there? So we're just going to keep that there. and we'll add a bit of it as we go to compost. So what I wanted to share with you was these compost bays. We are going to completely dismantle them. Now at the moment they've got some of the like cattle panel wire. We picked up a load of that off Free Cycle. You okay? Pardon? You're just resting. He's resting. So we picked up loads of that for free, and we're going to use that as like tomato trellises. Not going up and over, but along. So these compost bays, we've got a double bay here and then a single open one here. At the moment they're just filled with bags of things ready to be opened and turned, because there was a load of frogs in there and I didn't want to evict them in the winter. I wanted to leave them to have their home. So what I'm going to be doing is, in the next few weeks, this compost bay is moving from here, which is at the very bottom of our plot, in direct sun, next to our seating area. The table is turned upside down at the moment because of the winds and the storms we've been having like back to back every weekend, and we didn't want it causing any damage. But this is the seating area. We're going to pave it, and then that will be moving right up to the top of the plot. So that's going to go behind our shed. We're going to take up the paving slabs up there and put it in, so it will get sun from first thing in the morning until about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it will be mostly in the shade, so it'll be a good mixture really. But what I'm thinking, guys, I mean, underneath these two compost bays, the soil is going to be really, really rich because it's had all that manure in there, hasn't it? So I'm thinking this is going to be a twofold bed. One part of it we're going to use as a roof stout experiment for planting potatoes, because all those nutrients underneath there are going to be great, and I think we can get our hands on a whole load of hay that has been like water damaged and they can't sell as feed, so hopefully we can pick it up either cheap or for free. And then also we're going to use it for squash, because we all know how much squash love that rich fertile soil, don't we? So I think it would just be prettier, and then I think I'm going to put a fence across and paint it in our paint that we've got, so it matches these ones. It will match these fences over here. Yeah, so that's part of our big plan. I may film the rest of this tomorrow, so for now I'm just going to say to be continued, because there's something really important that I need to film that has nothing to do with this video at all. So I'll see you tomorrow. And we're back, but it's not the next day, it's actually the next week, the weekend after. Well, I filmed that on Thursday, then it was the weekend, then it was the week and the weekend, and now it's Monday. That's a funny way of saying it's Monday. So we've just been out, and I thought on the way back that I'll give you a quick roundup of the jobs that we're planning on doing. There is actually some changes on the plot for once, so I can actually show you some stuff. We've taken this bean arch down for now. It's not there right now. Look at my neighbour's fence. We did prop it back up, but after the next storm after that, it's just gone down again. And we've covered this area, which is all for tomatoes next year. That's one of the tomato beds anyway. Let me show you the broad beans. The broad beans are doing great. Really pleased with these. And what makes them even more special is they're from saved seed. So the broad beans that I grew last year, I left some plants so that they dried, and then I saved the seed and I've planted them this year. So they are our broad beans. So on this plot, we've moved most of the greenhouse. We've got a little bit down the bottom to move. This chicken run is actually, can you see where the green tub is down there? It's going to run across the bottom next to the water thing, and we've got a sink to put in the top of this, and then we'll be able to wash our veg, and we'll have like a bucket underneath that we can pull the plug out, the water will go down, so we put the water back onto the plot, and the veg are clean to take home. And we can also, because of the little door, we can bring the chickens up and they can have a rummage around in there too. All of these potatoes are finally out. The fence fell down in the wind, but I've just left it down so that it doesn't become a problem at the moment. And this year I'm going to put all sweet peas and hopefully loofah along this. When it's standing up, we're going to secure it properly, but that will actually give us an extra vertical growing space, like the whole length of the plot. So that will be rather cool. That is the polytunnel frame. Let's be honest, the polytunnel is really stressing me out because we have had rain so much since, like, what, August, maybe even July. The ground has been totally unworkable, and the plan was at this time of year, what's now, it's like nearly mid-March, was to have the polytunnel up and the extra greenhouse up, but we've just not been able to do it, and I feel really behind in that respect, and I just don't think we're going to be able to learn how to make a polytunnel from scratch and get the plastic for it and build it in time. If I got like a polytunnel kit, it would be a lot easier, but I don't know. Fingers crossed for us, guys, we'll get there. I really need that polytunnel for growing this year. I wanted to do some crops undercover because I don't really grow undercover, everything goes outside, but fingers crossed we'll get there. Now this next bit's the cut flower patch. This is going to take some work. Can you see these? Dandelions galore. Oh dearie me. It's still undulated. You can see how it goes up and down and up and down because we had our first early potatoes here last year. But I think the soil's looking quite good. As I said, I'm not going to amend this soil with like loads of manure and things like that because a lot of flowers like quite poor soil. You alright? Pardon? One moment. The child wants to dig up flowers to take home, and obviously that's not allowed because it's not our plot, that's our neighbour's plot, which the kids have their like climbing frames and that on, and they all play there together. So as I was saying, the flower patch is going to take some work. I'm not going to amend the soil because a lot of flowers like poor soil, but it does really need some work. I mean, anyone fancy a weeding party, you know, like a painting party? I think I need a weeding party, but we've got plenty of time for flowers yet. Most of them are not hardy anyway, so I won't be able to put anything out until mid-May, so that's like 2 months. So I've got 2 months to sort those dandelions out, and it's going to be a job. Ooh, try not to fall over. So this is our garlic. Sorry, people are mowing the lawns because we've actually had a bit of dry weather. So the garlic is looking good. This leaf mulch that I put on top of it seems to have worked well. If you get a bit of yellowing leaves on your garlic, don't worry too much. They will be fine. And this is our rhubarb. I've already started picking from this. The stems are, let me see, the stems are like really thick and bright pink. I've had about half a dozen stems off that already, which at the moment I'm just freezing to make for wine because the first flush of rhubarb is really good because it gives a lovely pink colour to the wine. And to be honest, we don't really eat it that much, like in crumbles and things. No one's really a big fan, but I am definitely a fan of rhubarb wine. Up here there's actually a change at the top of the plot. There is a big change. We've got the greenhouse base down. Well, Bearded You've got the greenhouse base down. All the bits of the greenhouse are here. So as you can see, some of the frame doesn't have any glass in at all. Sorry about the lawnmower. And some of it does. So what doesn't have the glass in, we are just going to cover in fabric. We've got some repair work to do because there's bits like this. Can you see? So we're going to have to reinforce all those joints. But at least we've got it here now. It's all laid out and we can see what work we need to do. I'm just hoping that lawnmower went quiet and the second I press record it started again. I do not have the shoes for this. Do you want to see my shoes? Look, they're muddy already. These are what Rue calls my clown shoes. And apparently I embarrass her when I wear them in public. What can you do? You've got to embarrass your kid, right? So hopefully we will be getting that greenhouse sorted quite soon. I don't know how much work it's going to take to repair those joints, and I just hope that we can repair them. For now, we've got our little glass greenhouse, which is doing fantastically. I am slowly walking down there to show you what's growing inside there, trying to pick the best route. Right, here we go. So the herbs are coming on well. This is the next zone of brassicas. So we've got greyhound cabbage, red drumhead, second lot of cauliflower, and this is broccoli. And then I did another sowing yesterday of more red drumhead because I thought I hadn't sown any. Some golden acre cabbage, purple sprouting broccoli, and some early sprouts. I've also taken home a big tub of all year round cauliflower and scarlet kale because they've got their tree leaves and they really need potting on, and I'm not looking compost over here to put them on. It's easier to just take the pots home, so I'll be sitting down and doing that later. The onions and the leeks, I'm really surprised with how well these are doing. Look, I'm really pleased with them. And the leeks too are doing well. I calculated though that even with those leeks planted and the onions planted in clumps, I'm only going to have about 135 onions, which isn't really enough. We use roughly an onion every 2 days, sometimes more, sometimes less, but I think my goal is about, say, 200 onions, and that should do us for the year. So I am having to go and get some sets, but I want some of those to be red onions too, so that gives me a little bit of a diversity, and I can compare then if I do like growing from seed or if I like growing from sets. Our ones last year, I'll put a link up. Our onion harvest last year was fantastic. There wasn't many, but they were from sets and they were really quite big and they were delicious too. So fingers crossed we can get enough onions this year. I should just call this video fingers crossed, shouldn't I? Show you everything today, because some of it is just too squishy for me to get to in my clown shoes. But as you can see, we are actually starting to get up here and make a little bit of progress. It's nowhere near what it was supposed to be at all. We were supposed to be virtually ready now, but it was a terrible late summer, terrible autumn, and winter hasn't been any kinder to us either. So I think we're all feeling the frustration and we just need to roll with it. I think we just need to do what we can do and try not to get too down in the dumps about it. So yeah, so I'm gonna go now. So thanks for watching over 2 days, even if it was over a week apart. I'm Jazz and this is Alternative Smallholding, and we'll see you soon hopefully. Take care, bye bye.